It is 14 minutes past 1 o'clock when you hear that Nasheed Allahumma by Saif Adam. You already know it is time for Career Campus with Kelly Ramazani every Thursday, 1 to 2 p.m. This week, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, but also a follow-up of what we spoke about last week, because I'm not alone in studio. I've got Zahira here with me. Before I introduce Zahira, I just want to quickly remind you of a few things, right? You as in you listening to us right now. So, last week, we spoke about quite a few matters. We also spoke about integrity. We spoke about honesty. And then there was a question about how to carry yourself in the workplace when it comes to your dignity and your integrity. Now, I want to mention that in the presence of Zahira, so that later on when we open this topic, or when we unfold this topic, or when we continue with this topic, that is where we will pick up. Most times it is quite tricky because sometimes your principles might clash with the work culture, and being honest is not always the best of responses in my experience, and I will tell you why I say that later on. But for now, to remind you, this is the show we talk about local and global trends, where we talk about what's happening in the world, where we talk about opportunities that are available for you, and so much more. We also talk about soft skills. We also talk about practical tips. We also talk about HR matters for the week, and we love those letters. I call them letters, but they're actually emails and messages that come from you. And I thank you for choosing us as your best companion. We absolutely want to thank you wholeheartedly for making this show what it is. And we ask you to continue to do so. The number to stay in touch with us is 0609041056. That's our WhatsApp line. And our studio directed line would be 0861 904 904. Now let's not keep our guest waiting. Zahira, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah. How are you, Kelly?
I'm fantastic. I'm always excited when you come around because I know we're about to drop some gems. I absolutely love your energy. I love your wisdom. I love your experience. And for somebody that's been in the corporate space, for so long, and now you're doing your own thing, bringing solutions to people who are experiencing a lot of things in the workplace. You're trying to create a healthy environment because you didn't have so much yourself,
Correct. Yeah.
I absolutely admire that, and I want to tell you that first and foremost. Now, let's jump right into it. The last time you were here, we spoke about performance review, and we mentioned how important empathy and compassion is when leading, and especially when it comes to reviewing somebody's performance. As a leader, you should be in a position to deliver the news with understanding.
Yes, correct.
Right. Now, I want us to pick up from there. Say, for example, now your employee is not performing to the best of their ability. How do you handle that? How does one handle that?
So we need to be able to communicate in a nice way, but we also need to see whether or not the employee is lacking training and skills from their side. So you need to ask these questions. Do you require help? Would you like training on a specific issue? If they're not meeting their targets, then we need to understand why they're not meeting their targets. If it's something that is obvious, like it's low season, then we have to be human about it and understand.
Right.
But if it's something where customer is constantly complaining about them,
right,
then we need to understand, okay, I think this individual possibly needs customer service training,
okay,
or how to deal with the customer.
Right.
So we need to ask our employees the questions.
Okay. I love that because customer service is very important. It's actually a vital part of running an organization or a foundation or a business for that matter. It's how you portray your brand to the world.
Exactly.
But also how you convey whatever solutions that you have to them. And if they feel that you're not doing that, of course, there will be a mismatch there and they might not be able to support you in future in the long run. Now, say, for example, with me, right? Alhamdulillah, I did a bit of risk management, did a bit of human resource, not deep into it, but just basic to understand how to speak to a customer. So I think I do have great customer service. However, situations vary, and
Yes, they
also
do.
circumstances also are different. You might be in a situation where you don't know how to navigate that problem that you're facing, for example, and you involve your employers, right? And they say, no, but you are in this duty or in this job or in this task and responsibility, you should know how to handle it. Now, in a situation like that, how does one respond to that?
So we need to again see if the employee has had the proper training. I always go back to training because when it comes to performance reviews, are the KPIs clear? Are the responsibilities clear?
Right.
If they are not clear and the employees does not state this, then we have a problem. And if the employee does ask for assistance, then we should never ever hesitate to assist them and to again train them. That's the main thing. Our employees have to be trained on how to do the service.
Well, if you're listening to us right now, you are live on 90.4 FM. That is Radio Al Ansar if you are in Durban, 105.6 FM if you are in PMB. Worldwide on www.alansar.org.za. You can send in your messages on 0609041056. We're talking about what happens next after performance review. And if you've got a similar story that you'd like to share with us, we welcome that. You can send in voice notes too. We're not going to open up the lines for calls because we don't have somebody to take the calls right now. So if you do call, we might put you straight through the show. I don't know if you will be okay with that. If you're okay with that, then yeah, do so. You can call us on 0861 904 904. So I'm joined by Zahira Lokat, who is the founder of ZYYY, and she offers solutions for many business problems. It is a consulting and training agency. Now, Zahira, back to you. I would love to find out from your experience, right? When you are working with employers and you realize they kind of do have unrealistic KPIs, they have, they just they're not being real with the targets, How do you tell the employer that I think you are the problem? How do you do that?
That's a difficult one.
Yeah.
I cannot give you a right or wrong answer on that. So 90% of the time, I'd say when it's unrealistic KPIs or unrealistic targets, the company is not doing well. So they have these unrealistic targets and unrealistic KPIs just so that there's possibly a paper trail so that we can do the disciplinary action.
Oh, I see.
So again, there's no right or wrong answer. And when that happens, the employee has every right to go and ask the management who set out these KPIs or these targets and ask them, what is the strategy behind these KPIs? What exactly are you looking for? What is the outcome of it? And if it's not up to standard, I wouldn't say up to standard, or if it's not clear, they have every right to now, again, put it on paper or let's say email, put it in black and white and ask HR, what is going on? All of a sudden, I have this KPI and this unrealistic target. And it's actually not fair because number one, maybe I haven't been trained on it. And number two, this target seems a little bit unreasonable, especially if it's just been thrown on you at last minute. And we need to also remember performance reviews is not done once a month. Performance reviews is actually continuous.
Yes, we mentioned that last week.
And this is what we need to remember, that it's not just for the next 3 months, we're going to be evaluating you. We're going to see if you match up to your KPIs. It needs to be ongoing, and management themselves needs to assist the employees to the build up of the performance review. They need to assist them. Okay, how are you doing? Do you need help here? What questions do you have? They also need to be part of it. Performance reviews are not to get rid of employees. They're actually there to make them better. And this is, I think, where a lot of companies, a lot of employees, they get mixed up.
Yes, 100%.
Performance reviews are there to assist us, not to make us look like we are failures.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know most of us get anxious, when it's performance review period or season, because there's this fear that is being dangled like in front of you to say, okay, well, now it's doomsday. We need to see if you are going to be with us or if this is goodbye.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be how performance review should be labeled,
No.
Now, you mentioned HR. I would like to find out, how often should HR come into play?
It's only when the employee is really not getting anywhere with their managers.
Only that time.
Yeah. I mean, you can't.
I like my HR, so I need to be careful.
You can't always be running to HR. Again, you need to follow the line structure and the communication. If you report to somebody, then continue with that report structure. But don't just, as soon as something is not going in your favor, then it's child's play and you report it to HR. No, you need to follow protocol as well.
Wow, incredible. Thank you so much for letting us know about that. Many people, especially in the workplace, I don't know whether they get too comfortable with HR or just feel like HR is there for every and any little thing.
Exactly.
And so we don't exhaust rather. We don't exhaust other options first. We run to HR right away. And so you present an incomplete complaint.
Exactly.
Or finding.
And you don't want HR to sometimes also label you as, oh goodness, this...
You again?
Yeah, exactly. HR is there to help you, but you as an employee also need to follow protocol. We all need to be fair in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to find out from HR, and I'm speaking about HR because today I had to speak to HR. Bringing my off-air matters on air. I wanted to find out, is it true that HR is there for the people, or is HR primarily for the organization? Tell us the truth.
No, there is no right or wrong answer.
Okay.
If the employee is not being treated fairly, HR will intervene.
Right.
If the employee is not following protocol, HR will intervene. So it works both ways.
Works both ways.
Yeah.
All right. If you just joined us right now, welcome right into it. It is Career Compass with me, Kelly Ramazani, and Zahia Lockhart. We're talking about performance review. We are going to take a quick breather. But first, I want to know, wherever you're listening to us from, what is your story? What are you going through? How is your fear for performance review? What comes to your mind when you hear that, hey, we are going to go through your performance next week? Are you now starting your Qiyamul Layl, tahajjud season? Or do you maybe gather the courage to say, okay, this is it. I'm
start applying for other jobs.
Yeah, start applying for other jobs. You're like, okay, before you'll fire me, I resign. So you let us know on 060-904-1056. What is your opinion? I'm trying to get Tob's attention while being on air as well, which is multitasking. But she is the technician on duty. Absolutely love her. Love Tobago so much, even though she can be moody at times. But never mind. I still love her. So we're talking about performance review and what happens afterwards. You let us know what is happening on your side of the town. This is Career Compass. You're in safe hands.
Allahumma salli ala al-Mustafa Habibna Muhammad alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala al-Mustafa Habibna Muhammad alayhi salam. He was respected, the most trustworthy of us all. We can never match him, but we try our best and give our all.
For over 5 decades, Sunfoil has nurtured a legacy rooted from our land. From a sunflower seed grown with goodness and love, crafted through excellence, precision, and care. Proudly South African, and the only 100% pure sunflower oil endorsed as a diamond partner by the Heart and Stroke Foundation. Cook with confidence. serving the best to the people you love, from one dish to the next. Sunfoil, the heart of good cooking.
The next level of leadership requires more than ambition. It requires the ability to think strategically, make confident decisions, and lead in a constantly changing world. The Regent Business School MBA is designed for professionals, managers, and aspiring executives who are ready to strengthen their leadership capability and business perspective. With flexible learning, practical application, and future-focused insight, Regent prepares you for future challenges. Regent Business School, teaching different things differently. Visit regent.ac.za.
Looking for natural wellness solutions for the whole family? Visit the Al Ansar Shop Health Department, your trusted destination for vitamins, supplements, herbal remedies, immune boosters, and health essentials. Whether you're looking to improve your well-being or maintain a healthy lifestyle, we've got you covered. Quality products, trusted brands, affordable prices. Visit the Al Ansar Shop today. Al Ansar Shop, caring for your health naturally.
Radio Al Ansar welcomes your feedback. If you have a broadcasting related complaint, please put it in writing and address it to the head of the complaints committee. Include your full name, contact details, a clear description of your complaint, and any supporting documents. You can email your complaint to feedback@alansar.org.za. That's feedback@alansar.org.za, or bring it in person to our Pietermaritzburg office at 240 Ortman Road, Willowton. Your input helps us serve you better.
Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani. Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani.
Woke up with the light, the sky so blue above my eyes, with a thankful heart. Today is another brand new start. I feel so positive, just wanna do my best to show this world I'm living in all of the love that I can give you. Many things that I can do, many things, yeah. Make me feel so close to you, to you, to you, to you. Oh, within my heart can't be removed. Within my heart when I'm loving you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Every day's a good day. I put my life in your hands, Allah. You will always lead my way. Oh, oh, every day's a good day. I give my life to you, Allah. You will always lead my way. Oh, I love this morning breeze. Love how it can revive my soul. I'm so glad to be surrounded by the people I know, filled with happiness. Just wanna give my all and be all that I can be. Share all my love and energy, yeah. Many things that I can do, many things, yeah. Make me feel so close to you, to you, to you, to you. Oh, within my heart can't be removed. Within my heart when I'm loving you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh.
Every day is a good day, and today is an absolutely beautiful day. It is the 30 minutes past 1 o'clock, 33 minutes actually, 27 minutes to 2 o'clock. We'll be wrapping up at 2. Now, before we wrap up, we got a few more things to talk about. First is the soft skill for this week, and then we'll continue our conversation with Zahira Lockhart, who is now part of the show, okay? She comes here every now and again to share with us her experience and, of course, get to advise us on how to deal with some of the matters that we go through at work in a professional way, because your dignity matters, right? Now, for the soft skill for this week, I want to talk about something that I highly, highly recommend. And it's something that most of us feel there's no need for, okay? But after navigating in the workplace for some time and getting to work with different people from different walks of life, you get to understand the importance of this work ethic or this soft skill, right? Can you guess? Can you take a guess? 060-904-1056. Just a quick one. I'll give you the guess right now. Listening skills. It's easy, right? Zahira, your mic is on. You feel free to comment on this as well. Listening skills. I think the ability to just listen, okay? It is such an incredible, phenomenal experience. Having to hear people without clouding your mind with judgments based on whatever previous traumas you have, or experiences you have, or projections or fears, having to just listen to a person for who they are. People tell on themselves.
Yes.
If you listen carefully, they will tell you who they are, what they want from you, where this is going to go, whatever union or friendship or relationship, whatever it is. Just listen. That's all. And also, if you're a leader, listening is so incredible. It's so important. It is actually a vital factor to decision making, because whatever information you have is based on what you listen to.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if you're listening to the wrong people, they will influence you in the wrong direction.
Exactly. 100%. 100%. Well done. Excellent.
I love that. You go, girl. I absolutely think most of us take it for granted. When we talk about how we make informed decisions, we make informed decisions because we did not listen. Because we did listen, because we carried out the research. But most cases, people make great mistakes because they did not listen.
Or they listen to the wrong person. But then again, a great leader doesn't need to listen to everybody else. He or she...
Wait, what you're saying now is very important. Where are we going with this? Wait, hold on. Say it again.
A great leader does not need to listen to everybody.
Okay.
A great leader has already listened or researched the topic at hand, and he or she can make the final decision without getting other people's opinion, or he said or she said. So yeah, a great leader should be able to make decisions on
their own.
Exactly.
Now, Zahira, I love a debate, and I don't mean to come in as opposing views or arguing, but I just want, to understand it clearly what you're saying. For a leader, I think it's very dangerous, because the people you are surrounded with need to be aligned with the vision you have.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And so sometimes you experience sabotage as a leader from the people around you.
Yeah.
And so when you say that you need to carry the research, because again, time is of the essence, you will ask those around you. And if they mislead you, misguide you, what do you think will happen?
No, you'll definitely go off. But then again, I will go back to a great leader is hands-on with his operations.
Right.
He knows exactly what's going on behind the scenes. He will listen to every side of the story.
Right.
And if he is really a hands-on leader without micromanaging, okay, that's another topic.
Yes, that's
for
an
another
interesting
day.
topic.
Then he'll know exactly the decision that he or she needs to take. A leader needs to be hands-on in such a way that he or she knows the organization that he or she is running. End of story. And the listening skill that you're talking about, it applies to everything, not only the workplace, but also the unions that you develop at work, the friendships. And the worst type of listener is the listener that is listening, but then that person's problem is even better or bigger than yours. Then that means that person is actually did not even hear anything that you had to say or empathize with you. And
I know a few listeners, that different types of listeners, as those that listen because they want to respond.
Yes.
The worst. Oh my God, no, please. Just, can you listen to what I'm saying?
Yeah, just listen.
Don't be defensive.
Exactly.
Even if you don't agree.
Exactly.
But then you get people that just listen to say their side of the story. So it might be irrelevant to whatever you were saying, but this is what I wanted to say.
Exactly.
Now that you're done, can I talk now? And then you're like, whoa, are you just going to ignore everything I said?
Yeah.
And then you get other type of listeners who will listen, but they're not hearing you.
Nothing. Zero. They heard absolutely nothing that you said. They just heard a few.
Yeah, whatever, selective listening, whatever they picked up. Or maybe some people would actually zone out and they're not listening to what you're saying, but they're watching how you react, how you respond, your body language. And yes, all these factors are very important. However, you need to listen. And I thought it would be important that we bring that up to you, your attention, you listening to us from wherever you're listening from. We will continue with the review performance, but first I want us to enjoy this beautiful nasheed that I absolutely love. And Tobega also loves it because
we're forced to love it. We're currently forced to love it. There's no choice.
Yeah, everybody has to love it. Listen.
بتعقد لي حياتك وبتحزن وتتأثر لو كنت ناسي تذكر سيرتنا بينا وفكر اسمع كلام وتفاءل بشر ولا تنفر ويوحد الله في قلبك قادر في عسرك ينسر صلي على النبي وتبسم ده النبي تبسم وتبسم ده النبي تبسم اللهم صلي عليه صلي على النبي وتبسم ده النبي تبسم وتبسم ده النبي تبسم اللهم صلي عليه وصلي وادعي من قلبك هيبعد الهم عنك طول ما انت مؤمن بربك هيكون عند حسن ظنك عبدك يا قضاءك وعدلك اعقلها بس وتوكل وخلي على الله املك صلي على النبي وتبسم ده النبي تبسم وتبسم ده النبي تبسم اللهم صلي عليه صلي على النبي وتبسم ده النبي تبسم وتبسم ده النبي تبسم اللهم صلي عليه.
When you give water, you bring life to drought-affected communities, providing fresh water for drinking, cleaning, and growing. Your support helps Islamic Relief implement water, sanitation, and hygiene projects, providing clean water to communities around the world. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى من اليهود الغاصبين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المرابطين على أرض فلسطين. اللهم شد أزرهم وسدد رميهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم الطف بإخواننا في كل مكان يذكر فيه اسمك يا أرحم الراحمين. استنصروك يا الله فانصرهم. اللهم ارحم الضعفاء والفقراء والمساكين والأيتام والنازحين والمشردين والأسرى يا أرحم الراحمين.
اللهم أنج المستضعفين من المسلمين في فلسطين. اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا. اللهم كن لإخواننا المرابطين في المسجد الأقصى. اللهم كن لهم ولا تكن عليهم. اللهم فرج همهم، نفس كربهم، داوي جرحاهم، عاف مبتلاهم، اشف مرضاهم، ارحم موتاهم، تقبل شهداءهم.
You've arrived at your destination. You're listening to Career Compass on Radio Al Ansar. Career Compass with Kelly Ramazani.
For as long as I remember, you were there for me. A young woman growing older, but always mom to me. My heaven lies under your feet. Now I look at you and there's a few wrinkles and lines, but I still see the same beautiful smile. And it hurts to know someday the light will fade from your eyes. 'Cause you're the woman I love. You're the woman I love, my mother. You're the woman I love. Life just passes by. A fragile butterfly. I thank Allah to have you by my side. You see my heartbeat a little faster the day I held your hand. We were young then, learning together to love and understand. You helped me to be who I am. Now after all these years I look at you, my beautiful bride. My whole life is right there in your eyes. And Allah allows me every day to wake up with your smile. 'Cause you're the woman I love. You're the woman I love, my wife. You're the woman I love. Life just passes by. A fragile butterfly. I thank Allah to have you by my side. How could I describe the feeling of holding you that day? From the moment of your first breath, you stole my heart away. There's nothing about you I change. I will stand by you as you spread your wings in this great big world. But you'll always be my little girl. And I pray Allah will keep me by your side.
The Women I Love by Zayn Bika. Beautiful nasheed, and this being Women's Month, we are reminded about the sacrifices that the women around us have made for us to stand as who we are. Absolutely want to send a shout out to all the moms, the sisters, the aunts, the cousins, the grandmas. You guys are the pillars that hold our societies and families together. I absolutely want to send a shout out to you all. Love you all, appreciate the work that you'll do, and of course continue doing the amazing work. Speaking about women, in studio we are 3 women right now, me, Zahira, and Tobera, and we are giving you this great show. Can you see the impact of womanhood? Okay, you get it, right? Well, we are talking about performance review, and before we wrap up, I want to remind you of a few things we spoke about a few weeks back. We touched on how China is getting rid of degrees that are no longer serving their youth. If they've noticed that these degrees are high in unemployment, they are doing away with that. And of course, bringing in new in-demand degrees that have to do with technology, AI, robotics, just where the future is heading. And I absolutely love that. I recommend that and applaud whatever work they are doing. I think our country should learn too, and just look into the careers that are surplus in the country, and let the people that have done those career or those degrees spread their wings outside the country. And if it's not possible, then do something else, invent new degrees, or maybe whatever is trending and in demand. We also spoke about how social media ban for under 16-year-olds is now currently happening as the new wave in countries like Australia, Malaysia, and countries like UK are also having debates whether they should join this wave or not. And these are great changes that are happening. Again, I love social media with my heart, but I feel like for a young user, there's so much negative than good. It does more harm than good. And this can be biased because it's my personal opinion. You have the right to disagree. I think social media, just like any other form of addiction, should have an age restriction or age limit. And I think below 16, just limit your use on social media. I have a 16-year-old. My mother's last born is 16. She's currently matric. And we don't restrict her to from using her phone, but we also mindful of the devices that she is able to have access to. And so I just wanted to remind you that. But now I'm going to bring Zahira back in to talk about performance review that we were speaking about earlier on. Zahira, before I let you go, I'd like to find out from you, what happens when you realize, now this is again based on your experience and your opinion, okay? When you realize that, okay, you're helping out this organization or this company, but it happens to be that the employer is failing to accept that they're also part of the problem. And I know we spoke about ways to break it down to an employer that I think you might also be to blame here. And in case they seem to not take that well and they say, no, I just am triggered by this person, or I just don't like this person. It actually seems more personal than professional.
Yeah.
How does your agency, first of all, come in? And two, based on your experience when you were in corporate, have you ever had that experience? And how did you navigate that?
I think we just need to get rid of that person. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. It's a big joke. It's jokes.
Girl, don't joke like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Right.
that is a very difficult one, and we usually sit down with the management or the manager at hand that the staff are addressing or that the staff are, let's say, complaining about, and then we iron out the issues with that manager. What is the real reason? What is the problem? And if it really is a personal problem, then that manager needs to go on some sort of training. And also get disciplined by HR, because when you work for a company, there's not supposed to be any bias whatsoever. And I know that's difficult because there's so much of bias, so much of favoritism.
Right.
But if the employee is really, really struggling with that specific manager, and the thing is, if the employee has really jotted down everything in black and white, has dated that on this specific date, this is what happened when I raised this concern, this manager is now
the response,
treating me like this, then the employer and the manager could be in a lot of trouble if the employee does escalate it further to the labor law or to CCMA. So we come in and we really sit down and show them the negative impact that it's having on the company, that it's having on the employees, and where it could land up. And overall, you don't want to spend money in court.
Of course.
Especially if the employee has everything in black and white.
Yeah. And also just the mental health aspects,
But nobody cares about that mental. I'm going to be honest. Your employer does not care about your mental health.
But I think that's where I love the new generation, not the younger generation, Gen Z.
The younger generation,
they're coming in to reform the workplace, and they are bringing in that human aspects to it. Like, as much as I render you a service and you pay me for it, I'm still human at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You need to acknowledge how I feel.
Yeah.
And so lots of employers are stating that Gen Z are not tolerating inhumane treatment. They will walk out.
Good. Yeah.
Which is great. And we are seeing lots and lots of companies now being mindful of how they treat their employees. I think it's something that we need to consider, especially as a leader. My advice to you will be, you are answerable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that position, you are going to be questionable, you will be answerable, and how you treat people just says a lot about you,
Yeah,
and you don't want to make somebody regret to Allah for earning a halal living,
Yeah.
because now you're wishing, oh my God, if only there was an easier way out.
And you don't want to be the reason why that person is crying to Allah about it. It's we need to address the mental health situation. As you said, some companies are looking into it, but there's still some companies
there's a lot of work
who really don't care.
Yeah. So unfortunately, but we pray that inshallah it will get better. Now, before we wrap up, any closing statement, any remark?
I just want to say that, remember, I said it last week and I'll say it again. Performance reviews are not to get a person out. It's to assist them to make them better for your organization. And be kind, be human, be happy
about it. Yeah.
And listen. As Kelly said, learn to listen.
Learn to listen. I love listening. Hey, I know it might not be the case with Tobega. She feels like I never ever listen to her. But I love listening. And one thing I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, as much as I might be easily distracted, I'm very observant. Like, I can see what's going on, and sometimes it just happens that you choose your battles,
Exactly.
You choose what to pay attention to and what not to pay attention
to. That's also a wonderful skill that you have. You choose your battles wisely.
Thank you for giving me my flowers now that I'm still alive. Okay. I really appreciate that. I don't want you saying, oh my God, she was such an incredible person, but you never said it to my face. But now that you're saying it to my face,
I say it to you all the time we speak, okay?
I absolutely appreciate you. Jazakallah khair so much. Thank you for that time. That's Zahira Lakat, a founder of ZYY Consulting and Training, talking to us about performance review and why it shouldn't be something you fear. It should actually be something you look forward to, because it should be done in a way that is compassionate and empathetic, so that you are able to grow with the organization. Zahira, before I let you go, I know I said that and then I didn't let you go, and now I'm going to say it. And maybe
okay,
I'm not going to let you
on. It's okay, no problem. I know you just love me being here.
Absolutely. Now, for anybody listening that might want to get in touch with you or wants to find out more of your work, where do they do that? How do they do that?
Sure. You can pop me a mail on info@ZYYY. So it's ZYYY consulting, all one word, .co.za. Or you can send me a message on 071 302 4758.
Jazakallah khair so much. We wish you all the very best. And of course, we absolutely love your company in the show. So don't be a stranger. Okay?
I will never, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
And assalamu alaikum to all the listeners.
Wa alaikum assalam. And I think that's where we shall wrap it up. I say to you, find your purpose and leave your mark. But again, be careful, because that mark you're going to leave. Yeah, that's it. That's it. If you know, you know. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Hold on tight like you once did. When you get a chance, say a prayer like this. رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. رب ارحمهما. The greatest empires have turned to sin, and one day we'll.
The names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is proudly brought to you by Turkiya, the Modest Boutique, 580 Ridge Road, Demure Couture for the discerning.
And al-wali means the protective friend. That's what it's generally translated as. It's so much more than that. But we see it manifest in the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. Yusuf is protected from two point-blank headshots. One is a spiritual one and the other is a physical. The physical one is his brothers trying to kill him. 10 brothers, all older, trying to kill him. And they have control over him. They've taken him away from the protective arms of his father. And there's no way where he's supposed to be able to survive that. But yet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-wali, diverts their harm away from him in the last moment. And the second is a spiritual. The wife of Al-Aziz locks the doors and she's beautiful. And men rarely are able to protect themselves from that type of temptation. And yet Yusuf alayhi salam is protected by al-wali from that spiritual harm. And so Yusuf alayhi salam recognizes Allah's protection over him. At the culmination of the story, he says, Anta waliyi fi dunya wal akhirah. You are my wali in this world and the next. Tawaffani musliman wa alhiqni bis salihin.
The names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is proudly brought to you by Turkiya, the Modest Boutique, 580 Ridge Road, Demure Couture for the discerning.
Turkiya brings to you the Modest Boutique, where elegance meets style and exclusivity meets you. Come in and view our personally handpicked range of exceptional quality garments for every occasion, from timeless classics to the latest trends in a range of fabrics to suit your taste. Abayas, top coats, dresses, scarves, and accessories. Let us bring out the diva in you. We offer you a truly relaxing shopping experience, secure on-site parking, open 7 days a week. Follow us on Instagram at Turkiya_Dublin or call 083-786-1065. Turkiya, Demure Couture for the discerning, 580 Ridge Road.
Radio.